The cabinet we're looking at in this assignment, Series 10, is actually a cabinet that I'm building for a kitchen remodel in my own home. I've decided to use this example with the Airstream series because it's a fairly complex cabinet dealing with a number of things that could apply to many cabinets or design problems you may be looking at as you're working on the remodel of your Airstream. The first thing that we'll want to do in creating our cabinet, and what I'm going to do is go through the process with a new cabinet right next to the other one so you can kind of see what we're doing and how that is going to take shape as we're building this cabinet and see the finished product at the same time. The first thing you'll want to do is take the space that's going to be in your trailer and measure the space where it will go, and so we're going to draw a simple box to begin with that will just be showing the box shape that our cabinet could fit in. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, and then what I need to do is come down and type in the exact size that I want, and the base is going to be 30 inches by 22 inches. So I'm going to type in 38, shift, quotes to get my inch marks, comma, space, 32, shift, quotes to get my other measurement, and then hit enter. And what it will give me is a shape that fits the size of what I'm working on. Alright, so what we want to do at this point is make a change. As always, we got change. I want to make sure this matches the cabinet size over here, so I've highlighted the back line. I'm going to use my move tool by hitting the M key, and if I slide this back and down, I can come up to the place where it matches the exact thickness of this area that I've got over here. Okay, now what we want to do is use the select key, click on it to highlight it. We're going to hit the P key to create the pull tool, and we'll start our pull up. And since we have our existing cabinet, we could just come over here and line up with the top and have it the same size, or again we can type in the height that we want. In this case, what I want is 36 inches, and that will give me the box. So essentially, when designing anything in SketchUp, what I like to say is we're going to create the cardboard box that we would ship our cabinet in if we were going to ship it somewhere. And this is a good starting point always. Alright, so the next thing we want to do in this particular example is I'm going to create the end shapes, these shapes right here, and the divider shapes for the cabinet. And in order to do that, I need to make some small spaces in here that represent the support boards that run across the top and back, top, front, and back, and also the ones that make the kick step for underneath where your toes would fit when you're standing close to the cabinet. And then I have another brace back here in the back. And in this example, these are ½ inch thick by 3 inches wide. So I'm going to move in closer to the end of my box, highlight it, and what I can do is come down from this edge, click on the corner, pull down, looking at my measurements down in the lower area till I get to ½ inch for the thickness of my wood, click, and then I'll click and drag over here, watching for the numbers. Again, I'm watching these numbers, remember, in the bottom right here. And notice that's on the green line, so it's parallel until I get to 3. And if you have trouble like here, you notice I have trouble getting the exact measurement. Oftentimes I've found if you move in closer, you can make smaller movements and get your precise measurement. See where I couldn't do that when I was out further. Click, and then click again, bring it up. And that's going to be the first in cut for my first board. When I come to this side, what I can do is, you see, I can line up with this bottom edge let it sit there for just a second, and then when I come over here, I will get a red dot that pops up when I'm exactly a ½ inch down relative to this measurement over here. So I can come down until I see that mark, click, and again I want to come out 3 inches, click, and up. So I have created the 2 notches for this part of the cabinet, and next I want to go down and create where the kick area is going to be, and the opening on the kick area is going to be 4 inches deep by 2½ inches high. So again, I'm going to move in closer, come up my 2½ inches, click, come across to get my 4. Okay, there again, see, this is an example where it doesn't want to pop right to 4, so the way to often solve that is just move in closer so that you have smaller measurements that you can get. Click, and come down to complete that one. And then I need to put the other board, support board, that's going to be in the back corner, and that's also a 3 by 1/2 inch. So I can come in here again, click on the bottom, come up my ½ inch, click, go over to 3, click, and come down. Alright, so that I've got the end panel laid out, and what I want to do at this point is I'm going to click on this particular section that I have here, and I want to use the pull tool. So I will click on the P key, get the pull tool, and I want to move that over so that it's going to be a ½ inch thick. Now I could do this a couple of ways. What I'm actually going to do this time is I'm going to grab this end and bring it all the way back. Oop, not quite that far. To get my wood thickness, in this case I want it to be a ½ inch, and since I was subtracting from what I was doing before, it's a little hard to know for sure what the thickness is. So I can come up here and get my measurement tool, click on the corner, come back, click on the other corner, pull it out, and you can see I've got a measurement there. Now if I click on this side, again using the P key for my push tool, I can play with this till I get it to my ½ inch for the thickness of the wood and let go. Now, there's, I could have just subtracted that, or, worked with a number of ways. That's just another way to look at it. I try to do things different ways. Now we want to take these notches out, so I'm going to click on that. Again, hit the P key for my push tool, pull it over, that drops that notch out. Same thing here. Okay, so there is the end section, or actually the pattern for the 5 sections that make up this area in our design. And what we want to do is click on it, highlight the whole thing, right click on it, and we want to make it a component. And we want to name it, so I'm going to make that the divider sections. And again, you want to make sure that replace section with component is clicked, and click create. And it's going to take it a second to accomplish that. We will be looking at cabinet making